Around 4 years ago, Vivzie Popper, Vivian Medrano, and her team released the pilot for Hazbin Hotel, and thanks to the overwhelming support and an almost cult following that it's gained over the years, it was able to get picked up by Amazon Prime. With the help of A24 and Bento Box Entertainment, Hazbin Hotel was released to general acclaim on January 18, 2024, receiving scores like an 8 from IMDb and an 85% from Rotten Tomatoes, showing that, at least from the outside, the show's performing well. What is Hazbin Hotel, though? Alright, let's get biblical. My bad. I'm joking. Well, kind of. So, without spoiling any plot points or things like that, the entire theme of the show is a struggle between what's good and bad, you know, morals v scriptures type of deal. Most of the show takes place in hell, and by hell, I mean this place, not this place. The Abrahamic hell is the easiest way to put it. Fire! Eternal damnation! You know.
That doesn't sound very Protestant, Oral. Well, at least it's not Catholic.
So as of the time I'm making this video, the last 2 episodes haven't actually come out yet. But from what I've seen so far, and from what I know about Vivzie Pop and her team, it should leave fans with questions while also answering some brought up throughout the show. And overall, I think the show will be carried by its most hardcore fans regardless. But really, is Hazbin Hotel just another Vivzie Pop show where every character that shows up on screen has to say fuck at least once per sentence? Or is this a show that deserves to be produced and seen for years to come?
I guess that's why Charlie called it the Hazbin Hotel. Ha ha ha!
Ha ha ha! It was actually my idea.
Ha ha ha! Well, it's not very clever.
Ha ha! Fuck you.
With names like Brandon Rogers, Michael Kovac, and Keith David voice acting in the show, it's pretty obvious that this wasn't just some cheap project cobbled together by a studio to rip off Family Guy or South Park.
Guess they passed the drugs through this hole. I'm here. Now give me the goods. I gave you the money. Give it to me. Give me the...
One thing I can pride a lot of these newer and especially independent adult-centered animated shows and films on is the ability to create a universe or a setting that's compelling enough to be invested in. By that, I mean every place is somewhere new while still feeling like it's part of the universe. It's in stark contrast to the settings you see in animated cable TV, where it's the same backdrops just with different stories. That's one thing that shows like Brickleberry and the like will never be able to accomplish. But I'm rambling. So who is Vivian Medrano? Well, to put it in short, she's a creator who started making comics on the internet and blew up when her animated version of Kesha's Die Young gave her a platform to continue creating. Through her YouTube, she's been able to create numerous projects, one of them being a pilot episode for the show Hazbin Hotel. After doing absolutely amazing on YouTube, we get to where we are now, 4 years later with a finished product backed by major studios. I can't go without mentioning another one of Viv's projects that you most likely have heard of. It's called Hell of a Boss. It was crowdfunded by fans of Vivzie Pop and is still making episodes to this day. Although it's different from Hazbin Hotel, it still takes place in hell and follows very interesting characters with their own stories. If you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend it, mostly because it's a free YouTube series that benefits from as much engagement as possible, but also because I genuinely enjoy it and I hope to make a video on it soon.
Wait, are we actually killing a family?
No, don't be a puss. We're just killing a mother. We're ruining a family.
Okay, so to understand the show fully, you'd have to have watched the pilot, since it technically is real and just took place 1 week before the first episode of the show. But the actual first episode of the show does a perfectly fine job of introducing the characters and setting in my opinion, if not better than the pilot did. In the pilot, we meet Charlie, the estranged daughter of Lucifer and Lilith, Adam's woman before Eve. Throughout, we meet several other characters who end up making appearances in the actual show, one of which being Serpentius, a reptilian-type character who ends up as one of the side characters instead of just a one-off villain.
You've met our newest guest, Serpentius.
Ah, yes. You're the one who ruined my coat. I definitely remember you now.
But to stick to the main story, in the pilot, all that's established is that a few key characters, Alistair, Angel Dust, Vaggie, Husk, and Nifty all agree to help Charlie with her dream of turning sinners into saints. That's what the Hazbin Hotel is. It's a rehabilitation center for damned souls who want to work towards making themselves holy enough to hopefully make their way into heaven. Overall, it's a decent pilot that does a very good job at introducing everything. The only thing I feel is missing is the drive. Her wanting to make the hotel is a unique idea with interesting plot ideas, but there's no conflict between characters, you know, there's only an inner conflict between her and running the hotel. Luckily, the first episode of the actual show solves that immediately by explaining how once every year the angels come down from heaven to exterminate as much of hell as they can before returning home. When the angels got word of Charlie's plans to try and allow sinners into heaven, they announced that they would be doubling the number of times that they come in a year to make sure that even more chaos and unrest would plague hell. So now Charlie seriously has a drive to fight against heaven and show that sinners can be redeemed, or at least that's the main plot device of the show. Talking about plot and characters though, the show has plenty of expansion on the aforementioned characters and their backstories. We get to meet people associated in good and bad ways, and some even get full episodes to go through and explain their importance to hell.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to not have sexual intercourse before marriage!
Yes! Oh, bravo!
Overall, the approach taken was perfect, and I feel as though the pacing in the show is spot on. I'm not a massive fan of plays or musicals, but the songs in the episodes of the show were actually pretty good, and I found myself genuinely wanting to listen to it, and not just wanting for it to go back to regular banter. Speaking of singing though, the voice actors in the show are absolutely great. They all fit their characters very well, and although it's a little sad that the original voice actors from the pilot weren't used, the new ones do just great, and I don't doubt they'll fit into their roles nicely. The animation is where the show really excels though. If you watch the pilot and then you watch the show, it's night and day. The animation got a massive upgrade, and in my opinion, the backgrounds are absolutely gorgeous. The characters and moving objects fit perfectly with the backdrops in literally every scene, and fast-paced action sequences are just as clean. Now that a lot of people from the age of Newgrounds and internet animation, webcomics, and art styles from the 2010s are showing up with their touch, it really shows.
Oh, someone's got a parley. We'll have to get some bubble trumps and vinegar on there before it falls off.
I'm cold out here, Daddy. I'm cold.
Overall, this show is exactly what fans of Vivzy Pop have been waiting for, and to see it come to life after all this time is truly something impressive. The artwork in the show is something that could only come from the minds of people passionate about creation and sincerity instead of profit and quantity. The voice acting feels compelling in almost every tense scene, and the singing, while at times I feel messes with the pace, is still a very nice touch. And it's not like any of the music has been bad. I mean, it's far from it. So yeah, I hope I convinced you to go and watch it, and even if I didn't, I'm glad I kept you till the end of the video. Over the years, I'm sure a lot of us have only imagined seeing our favorite artists and creators of the internet be able to make something of this standard in collaboration with big production names, but as time keeps going on, this type of thing keeps on becoming more of a standard, and I'm absolutely here for it. The case in point is shows like this, Smiling Friends, Hell of a Boss, Sunset Paradise, etc. Let me know down in the comments if y'all want me to do a deep dive into the different plots and character stories throughout the show when it's fully released. And if you're not already, make sure to press that subscribe button and hit the bell if you want to see more from me. But with all of that being said, I hope you guys have had an amazing day, evening, or night whenever you're watching this. And I'll say hello to you guys in the next video. Peace out.